fam, welcome back. Welcome back to the Road Trip, Kingdom Builders, Road Trippers, Akeem and Akatim, brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, everybody in the house, in-laws. That's right, man. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to each and every single one of you, your homes, your dwelling places, where you stay at, right? That home that he blessed you with. That's right. Your children, your loved ones, your friends, and your pets, right? Little fur babies. That's family, man. That's family too. That's right, fam. That's right. Okay, man. And for that, we give all thanks and all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right? Through Yahweh Shai, right? Hamashiach, right? Glory to Yahweh Shai. Honors to the Ruach HaKodesh. My love and my respect to y'all, right? But all praises to the overseer, Yahweh. All right. That's right. All right. So look at this. We're in the book of Jasher, as we will be for the next, 60 chapters or so. All right. Maybe 70 chapters. But anyway, the book of Jasher, I kind of made a mistake on the last read because I read 17 and 18, forgot that I needed to read 16, had to go back and squeeze 16 in front of it. So if the order seemed kind of messed up, I apologize. And also, I'm working on some audio dubs, so apologize for some of the audio mistakes here and there. Getting it better, okay? Just trying to iron a few things out. So we finished up 18, which was unexpected. That kind of squeezed in there. But so we're going to start on 19 on this one, all right? Starting on 19, don't know how far we're going to go, but you have a moment right now to get your scrolls out if you want to read along with me, which would be advised and awesome. I would appreciate it, you know what I mean? And you get the most out of the experience, okay? So, forgive me for any of the hard names that I'm probably about to read, but I don't know. I haven't done any pre-scans on this one, just kind of diving in blindfolded. So, this is going to be the book of Jasher, chapter 19, fam. All right, no further ado, let's begin. Chapter 19, and it reads, And the cities of Sodom had 4 judges to 4 cities, and these were their names: Sarak in the city of Sodom, Sharkad in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Admah, and Menon in Zeboim. And Eleazar, Abraham's servant, applied to them different names, and he converted Sarak to Shakra, Sharkad to Shakrura, Zebnak to Kezobim, and Menon to Matzlodin. And by desire of the 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the cities. And if a man came to these places, they laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds, and by force made him lie in them. And as he lay down, 3 men would stand at his head and 3 at his feet, and measure him by the length of the bed. And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him at each end, and when he cried out to them, they would not answer him. What a terrible situation. Are you paying attention to that? Verse 5, And if he was longer than the bed, they would draw together the 2 sides of the bed at each end until the man had reached the gates of death. And if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, Thus will it be done to a man that comes into our land. And when men heard all these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they refrained from coming there. And when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold, and cause a proclamation in the whole city not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. And if the stranger should remain there some days, and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death all the people of the city would come and take their silver and gold which they had given to him. And those that could recognize the silver or gold which they had given to him took it back. And at his death they also stripped him of his garments, and they would fight about them. And he that prevailed over his neighbor took them. They would after that carry him and bury him under some of the shrubs in the deserts. So they did all the days of anyone that came to them, and died in their land. And in the course of time Sarah sent Eleazar to Sodom to see Lot and inquire after his welfare. And Eleazar Eleazar, went to Sodom, and he met a man of Sodom fighting with a stranger. And the man of Sodom stripped the poor man of all his clothes and went away. And this poor man cried to Eleazar and supplicated his favor on account of what the man of Sodom had done to him. And he said to him, "Why do you act thus to the poor man who came to your land?" And the man of Sodom answered Eleazar, saying, "Is this man your brother, or have the people of Sodom made you a judge this day, that you speak about this man?" And Eleazar strove with the man of Sodom on account of the poor man. And when Eleazar approached to recover the poor man's clothes from the man of Sodom, he hastened, and with a stone smote Eleazar in the forehead. And the blood flowed copiously from Eleazar's forehead. And when the man saw the blood, he caught hold of Eleazar, saying, "Give me my hire for having rid you of this bad blood that was in your forehead. For such is the custom in the law of our land." And Eleazar said to him, "You have wounded me, and require me to pay you for hire?" And Eleazar would not hearken to the words of the man of Sodom. And the man laid hold of Eleazar, and brought him to Shachrah, the judge of Sodom, for judgment. And the man spoke to the judge, saying, "I implore you, my Adon, thus has this man done, for I smote him with a stone, that the blood flowed from his forehead, and he is unwilling to give me my hire." And the judge said to Eleazar, "This man speaks truth to you. Give him his hire, for this is the custom in our land." And Eleazar heard the words of the judge, and he lifted up a stone and smote the judge, and the stone struck on his forehead, and the blood flowed copiously from the forehead of the judge. And Eleazar said, "If this then is the custom in your land, give you unto this man what I should have given him, for this has been your decision. You did decree it." And then Eleazar left the man of Sodom with the judge, and he went away. And when the kings of Elam had made war with the kings of Sodom, the kings of Elam captured all the property of Sodom, and they took Lot captive with his property. And when it was told to Abraham, he went and made war with the kings of Elam, and he recovered from their hands all the property of Lot, as well as the property of Sodom. At that time, the wife of Lot bore him a daughter, and he called her name Palthith, saying, because Yahweh had delivered him and his whole household from the kings of Elam. And Palthith, daughter of Lot, grew up, and one of the men of Sodom took her for a wife. And a poor man came into the city to seek a maintenance, and he remained in the city some days. And all the people of Sodom caused a proclamation of their custom not to give this man a morsel of bread to eat until he dropped dead upon the earth, and they did so. And Palthith, the daughter of Lot, saw this man lying in the street, starved with hunger, and no one would give him anything to keep him alive, and he was just upon the point of death. And her soul was filled with pity on account of the man, and she fed him secretly with bread for many days. And the soul of this man was revived. For when she went out to fetch water, she would put the bread in the water pitcher. And when she came to the place where the poor man was, she took the bread from the pitcher and gave it to him to eat. So she did many days. And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah wondered how this man could bear starvation for so many days. And they said to each other, "This can only be that he eats and drinks, for no man can bear starvation for so many days or live as this man has, without even his countenance changing." And 3 men concealed themselves in a place where the poor man was stationed, to know who it was that brought him bread to eat. And Palthith, daughter of Lot, went out that day to fetch water, and she put bread into her pitcher of water. And she went to draw water by the poor man's place. And she took out the bread from the pitcher and gave it to the poor man, and he ate it. And the 3 men saw what Palthith did to the poor man. And they said to her, "It is you then who have supported him, and therefore he has not starved, or changed in appearance, or died like the rest." And the 3 men went out of that place in which they had concealed, and they seized Palthith and the bread which was in the poor man's hand. And they took Palthith and brought her before the judges. And they said to them, "Thus did she do, and it is she who supplied the poor man with bread. Therefore did he not die all this time. Now therefore declare to us the punishment due to this woman for having transgressed our law." And the people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city. And they took the woman and cast her into the fire, and she was burned to ashes. And in the city of Admah there was a woman to whom they did the like. For a traveler came into the city of Admah to abide there all night, with the intention of going home in the morning. And he sat opposite the door of the house of the young woman's father to remain there, as the sun had set. When he had reached that place, and the young woman saw him sitting by the door of the house, she, he asked her for a drink of water. And she said to him, "Who are you?" And he said to her, "I was this day going on the road and reached here when the sun set. So I will abide here all night, and in the morning I will arise early and continue on my journey." 39. And the young woman went into the house and fetched the man bread and water to eat and drink. And this affair became known to the people of Admah, and they assembled and brought the young woman before the judges, that they should judge her for this act. And the judge said, "The judgment of death must pass upon this woman, because she transgressed our law. And this therefore is the decision concerning her." And the people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman, and anointed her with honey from the head to foot, as the judge had decreed. And they placed her before a swarm of bees. Oh my goodness, which when then in their hives, and the bees flew upon her and stung her, that her whole body was swelled. And the young woman cried out on account of the bees, but no one took notice of her or pitied her. And her cries ascended to heaven. And the Most High was provoked at this, and at all the works of the cities of Sodom, for they had abundance of food, and had tranquility among them, and still would not sustain the poor and the needy. And in those days their evil doings and sins became great before the Most High. And the Most High sent for 2 of the angels that had come to Abraham's house, to destroy Sodom and its cities. And the angels rose up from the door of Abraham's tent, after they had eaten and drunk, and they reached Sodom in the evening, and Lot was then sitting in the gates of Sodom. And when he saw them, he rose and met them. He rose to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. And he pressed them greatly, and brought them into his house. And he gave them victuals, which they ate. And they stayed all night in his house. And the angel said to Lot, "Arise, go out from this place, you and all belonging to you, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of this city, for the Most High will destroy this place." And the angels laid hold upon the hand of Lot, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hands of his children, and all belonging to him. And they brought him out, and set him outside the cities. And they said to Lot, "Escape for your life." And he fled, and all belonging to him. Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah, and upon all the cities brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven. And he overthrew the cities, all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. And Ado, the wife of Lot, looked back to see the destruction of the cities, for her compassion was moved on account of her daughters who remained in Sodom, for they did not go with her. And when she looked back, she became a pillar of salt, and it is yet in that place unto this day. And the oxen which stood in that place daily licked up the salt to the extremities of their feet. And in the morning it would spring out afresh, and they again licked it up until this day. And Lot and 2 of his daughters that remained with him fled and escaped to the cave of Adullam, and they remained there for some time. And Abraham rose up early in the morning to see what had been done to the cities of Sodom, and he looked and beheld the smoke of the cities going up like the smoke of the furnace. And Lot and his 2 daughters remained in the cave, and they made their father drink wine, and they lay with him, for they said, "There was no man upon the earth that could raise up seed from them," for they thought that the whole earth was destroyed. And they both lay with their father, and they conceived and bore sons. And the firstborn called the name of her son Moab, saying, "From my father did I conceive him." He is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger also called her son Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. And after this, Lot and his 2 daughters went away from there, and he dwelt on the other side of the Jordan with his 2 daughters and their sons. And the sons of Lot grew up, and they went and took them to themselves wives from the land of Canaan. And they begat children, and they were fruitful and multiplied. That's the end of chapter 19. All right, that's the end of 19. Hallelujah. So lucky for the little hiccups there. So lucky. We're trying to smooth it out a little bit. All right, we'll continue though. Chapter 20. All right. Chapter 20, and it reads, "And at that time Abraham journeyed from the plain of Mamre, and he went to the land of the Philistines, and he dwelt in Gerar. It was in the 25th year of Abraham's being in the land of Canaan, and the 100th year of the life of Abraham, that he came to Gerar in the land of the Philistines. And when they entered the land, he said to Sarah his wife, 'Say you are my sister to anyone that will ask you, in order that we may escape the evil of the inhabitants of the land.' And as Abraham was dwelling in the land of the Philistines, the servants of Abimelech, king of the Philistines, saw that Sarah was exceedingly beautiful, and they asked Abraham concerning her. And he said, 'She is my sister.' And the servants of Abimelech went to Abimelech, saying, A man from the land of Canaan has come to dwell in the land, and he has a sister that is exceedingly fair. And Abimelech heard the words of his servants who praised Sarah to him. And Abimelech sent his officers, and they brought Sarah to the king. And Sarah came to the house of Abimelech, and the king saw that Sarah was beautiful, and she pleased him exceedingly. And he approached her and said to her, "What is that man to you, with whom you did come to our land?" And Sarah answered and said, "He is my brother, and we came from the land of Canaan to dwell wherever we could find a place." And Abimelech said to Sarah, "Behold, my land is before you. Place your brother in any part of this land that pleases you, and it will be our duty to exalt and elevate him above all the people of the land, since he is your brother." And Abimelech sent for Abraham, and Abraham came to Abimelech. And Abimelech said to Abraham, "Behold, I have given orders that you will be honored as you desire on account of your sister Sarah. And Abraham went out from the king, and the king's present followed him. As at evening time, before men lie down to rest, the king was sitting upon his throne, and a deep sleep fell upon him, and he lay upon the throne and slept until morning. And he dreamed that an angel of the Most High came to him with a drawn sword in his hand, and the angel stood over Abimelech and wished to slay him with the sword. And the king was terrified in his dream, and said to the angel, "And what have I sinned against you, that you come to slay me with your sword?" And the angel answered and said to Abimelech, "Behold, you die on account of the woman which you did last night bring to your house, for she is a married woman, the wife of Abraham, who came to your house. Now therefore return that man his wife, for she is his wife. And should you not return her, know that you will surely die, you and all belonging to you." And on that night there was a great outcry in the land of the Philistines, and the inhabitants of the land saw the figure of a man standing with a drawn sword in his hand. And he smote the inhabitants of the land with the sword. Yea, he continued to smite them. And the angel of the Most High smote the whole land of the Philistines on that night. And there was a great confusion on that night, and on the following morning. And every womb was closed, and all their issues. And the hand of the Most High was upon them on account of Sarah, wife of Abraham, who Abimelech had taken. And in the morning Abimelech rose with terror and confusion, and with a great dread. And he sent and had his servants called in, and he related his dream to them, and the people were greatly afraid. And one man standing among the servants of the king answered the king, saying, "O sovereign king, restore this woman to her husband, for he is her husband, for he is her husband, for the like happened to the king of Mizraim when this man came to Mizraim. And he said concerning his wife, She is my sister, for such is his manner of doing when he comes to dwell in the land in which he is a stranger." And Pharaoh sent, so this guy already knew the reputation, right? He's done this before. And Pharaoh sent and took this woman for a wife, and the Most High brought upon him grievous plagues until he returned that woman to her husband. Now therefore, O sovereign king, know what happened last night to the whole land, for there was a very great consternation, and great pain and lamentation. And we know that it was on account of this woman which you did take. Now therefore, restore this woman to her husband, lest it should befall us as it did to Pharaoh king of Mizraim and his subjects, and that we may not die. And Abimelech hastened and called, and had Sarah called for, and she came before him, and he had Abraham called for, and he came before him. And Abimelech said to them, "What is this work you have been doing in saying you are brother and sister? And I took this woman for a wife?" And Abraham said, "Because I thought I should suffer death on account of my wife." And Abimelech took flocks and herds and manservants and maidservants and 1,000 pieces of silver, and he gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah to him. And Abimelech said to Abraham, "Behold, the whole land is before you. Dwell in it, wherever you will choose." And Abraham and Sarah his wife went out from the king's presence with honor and respect, and they dwelt in the land, even in Gerar. And all the inhabitants of the land of the Philistines and the king's servants were still in pain through the plague which the angel had inflicted upon them the whole night on account of Sarah. And Abimelech sent for Abraham, saying, "Pray now for your servants to the Most High your Elohim, that he may put away this mortality from among us." And Abraham prayed on account of Abimelech and his subjects. And the Most High heard the prayer of Abraham, and he healed Abimelech and all his subjects. That's the end of chapter 20. All right, fam? That's the end of chapter 20 right there. All right. Yeah. So what do you think? Should we read chapter 21 and try to squeeze it in there? Let's see. Yeah. We can go for it. All right. We'll do chapter 21 as well. So 19, 20, and 21. All right. 21. Jasher 21. And it reads, "And it was at that time, at the end of the year, and the 4 months of Abraham's dwelling in the land of the Philistines in Gerar, that Yahweh visited Sarah, and the Most High remembered her, and she conceived and bore a son to Abraham. And Abraham called the name of the son which was born to him, which Sarah bore to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac on the 8 days old, as Yahweh had commanded Abraham to do unto his seed after him. And Abraham was 100, and Sarah 90 years old, when Isaac was born to them. And the child grew up, and he was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast upon the day that Isaac was weaned. And Shem and Eber and all the great people of the land, and Abimelech king of the Philistines and his servants, and Phicol the captain of the host, came to eat and drink and rejoice at the feast which Abraham made upon the day of his son Isaac being weaned. Also Terah the father of Abraham and Nahor his brother came from Haran, they and all belonging to them, for they greatly rejoiced on hearing that the son had been born to Sarah. And they came to Abraham, and they ate and drank at the feast which Abraham made upon the day of Isaac being weaned. And Terah and Nahor rejoiced with Abraham, and they remained with him many days in the land of the Philistines. At that time Serug the son of Reu died in the first year of the birth of Isaac son of Abraham. And all the days of Serug were 239 years, and he died. And Ishmael the son of Abraham was grown up in those days. He was 14 years old when Sarah bare Isaac to Abraham. And Yahweh was with Ishmael the son of Abraham. And he grew up, and he learned to use the bow, and became an archer. And when Isaac was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael at the door of the tent. And Ishmael came to Isaac, and seated himself opposite him. And he took the bow, and drew it, and put the arrow in it, and intended to slay Isaac. And Sarah saw the act which Ishmael desired to do to her son Isaac, and it grieved her exceedingly on account of her son. And she sent for Abraham, and said to him, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for her son will not be heir with my son. For thus did he seek to do unto him this day. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And he rose up early in the morning, and he took 12 loaves and a bottle of water, which he gave to Hagar, and sent her away with her son. And Hagar went with her son to the wilderness, and they dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, with the inhabitants of the wilderness. And Ishmael was an archer, and he dwelt in the wilderness a long time. And he and his mother afterward went to the land of Mizraim, and they dwelt there. And Hagar took a wife for her son from Mizraim, and her name was Meribah. And the wife of Ishmael conceived and bare 4 sons and 2 daughters. And Ishmael and his mother and his wife and children afterward went and returned to the wilderness. And they made themselves tents in the wilderness in which they dwelt. And they continued to travel and then go rest monthly and yearly. So they were like kind of vagabonds. They were like just like nomads. They just traveled everywhere, like camps over camps, right? So wherever the food was, they just followed the herds, because he was an archer, right? All right, 20. And it reads, And Yahweh gave Ishmael flocks and herds and tents on account of Abraham his father, and the man increased in cattle. And Ishmael dwelt in the deserts and in tents, traveling and resting for a long time, and he did not see the face of his father. And in some time after, Abraham said to Sarah his wife, I will go and see if my son Ishmael, for I have a desire to see him, for I have not seen him for a long time. And Abraham rode upon one of his camels to the wilderness to seek his son Ishmael, for he heard that he was dwelling in a tent in the wilderness with all belonging to him. And Abraham went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon, and he asked after Ishmael. And he found the wife of Ishmael sitting in the tent with her children, and Ishmael her husband and his mother were not with him. And Abraham asked the wife of Ishmael, saying, Where has Ishmael gone? And she said, He has gone to the field to hunt. And Abraham was still mounted upon the camel, for he would not get off to the ground, as he had sworn to his wife Sarah that he would not get off the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, My daughter, give me a little water that I may drink, for I am fatigued from the journey. And Ishmael's wife answered and said to Abraham, We have neither water nor bread. And she continued sitting in the tent and did not notice Abraham, neither did she ask him who he was. But she was beating her children in the tent, and she was cursing them. And she also cursed her husband Ishmael, and reproached him. And Abraham heard the words of Ishmael's wife to her children, and he was very angry and displeased. And Abraham called to the woman to come out to him from the tent. And the woman came and stood opposite to Abraham, for Abraham was still mounted upon the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, "When your husband Ishmael returns home, say to him that a very old man from the land of the Philistines came here to seek you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing you were not here, he spoke unto me, and said, When Ishmael your husband returns, tell him thus did this man say, When you come home, put away this nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead." And Abraham finished his instructions to the woman, and he turned and went off on the camel homeward. And after that Ishmael came from the chase, he and his mother, and returned to the tent, and his wife spoke these words to him, "A very old man from the land of the Philistines came to seek you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing you were not at home, he said to me, When your husband comes home, tell him, Thus says the old man, Put away the nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Ishmael heard the words of his wife, and he knew that it was his father, and that his wife did not honor him. And Ishmael understood his father's words, that he had spoken to his wife. And Ishmael hearkened to the voice of his father, and Ishmael cast off that woman, and she went away. And Ishmael afterward went to the land of Canaan, and he took another wife, and he brought her to the tent, to the place where he then dwelt. And at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go again and see Ishmael my son, for I have not seen him for a long time. And he rode upon his camel, and went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and his wife came out of the tent, and she said, He is not here, my Adon, for he has gone out hunting in the fields, and to feed the camels. And the woman said to Abraham, Turn in, my Adon, into the tent, and eat a morsel of bread, for your soul must be wearied on account of the journey. And Abraham said to her, I will not stop, for I am in haste to continue my journey. But give me a little water to drink, for I have thirst. And the woman hastened and ran into the tent, and she brought out water and bread to Abraham, which she placed before him. And she urged him to eat, and he ate and drank. And his heart was comforted, and he blessed the son Ishmael. And he finished his meal, and he blessed the Most High, Yahweh. And he said to Ishmael's wife, When Ishmael comes home, say these words to him, A very old man from the land of the Philistines came here, and asked after you, and you were not here. And I brought him out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, When Ishmael your husband comes home, say unto him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Abraham finished commanding the woman, and he rode off to his home, to the land of the Philistines. And when Ishmael came to the tent, his wife went out to meet him with joy and a cheerful heart. And she said to him, An old man came here from the land of the Philistines, and thus was his appearance. And he asked after you, and you were not here. So I brought out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, When Ishmael your husband comes home, say to him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Ishmael knew that it was his father, and that his wife had honored him. And the Most High blessed Ishmael. That's the end of chapter 21, fam. All right, we're going to close that one out right there, okay? All right, cool. So we're going to finish up that. That's 19, 20, and 21. We're going to pick up on 22 on the next one, because that's kind of long. We're not going to put that one together here. It'll be an hour-long video, right? Right? So, yeah, thanks for riding along with me. Thanks for the read. Okay, in the meantime, in between time, stay safe out there, right? All praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings, right? All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. I love y'all. All right, yep.